Greetings. Welcome back to the Osha Cerese Show. I am your host, Osha Cerese, and this is your daily reset, your weekday. We switched it from daily to weekday dose of real talk. So, this is where culture meets coaching, where healing meets headlines, and where we utilize alchemy to transmute gossip into growth. So, we are not just scrolling and consuming all of the hot topics and celebrity gossip and trending news and all of that. We're actually seeing what's going on in the world and pulling some lessons from them, talking about what's going on in culture, in our history, and all of the things, what's going on in these social media streets. And we're, putting a little coaching element into it. So I am, again, Osha Cerese. I am a certified life coach. I am an event curator, and I am a dream doula, supporting you with birthing your ideas into reality. This is episode 35, y'all. We're going strong. Episode 35. Again, you need to make sure that you are subscribed to my channel because although I'm streaming on Instagram sometimes, it lives on YouTube. So go to my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/at Osha Cerese, OSHACERESE. Make sure you don't just subscribe, but you also turn your notifications on, as this is a pop-up show. You never know when I might pop up. So again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for those of you watching here on YouTube, on Instagram. Instagram is when you see me looking down over here, I'm looking at my Instagram comments. So thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you. The drink of the evening, I have some gingerberry kombucha. Some kombucha tonight for good gut health, okay? And we are going to say cheers to a great show, episode 35. Cheers to happiness, great health, love, abundance, and success. Cheers. If you notice anything that has a little kick to it, a little bite, I have to gulp it. I don't know what that is. I cannot sip it. I just gotta get me a few gulps in. Kombucha has a little acquired taste, but I love kombucha. So that is my drink of the evening. So, we are celebrating Women's History Month. And we're still celebrating Black History, y'all. So it's Black History all year, Women's History Month right now. And today's Women History Month spotlight is none other than the Queen Latifah. I wanted to spotlight her today. Queen Latifah, aka the woman who has never had a bad hair day. So she is definitely a true icon in music, film, television, and just culture, the culture period. She was born Dana Elaine Owens on March 18th, birthday coming up, 1970, in Newark, New Jersey. She found her stage name meaning delicate and kind in Arabic at the age of 8. She was raised by her mother, Rita Owens. Her mother was a school teacher. She grew up in a supportive and strong family environment. Queen Latifah broke into the music scene in 1989, a year after I was born, with her debut album, All Hail the Queen, which featured the hit single, Ooh, Ladies First, Ladies First. As one of the first female rappers to rise to prominence, she paved the way for women in hip hop and became known as the Queen of Jazz Rap. Have y'all heard that? Because I don't think I knew that that was a title that she had. Queen of Jazz Rap. I like that though. Queen Latifah made her acting debut in the sitcom One of My Faves, Living Single, which was airing 1993 to 1998, playing the iconic role of Khadijah James, a strong, ambitious black woman running her own magazine. We're going to talk about more of that in a second. She has since starred in a wide range of films, from comedies like Bringing Down the House, one of my cousin, shout out to Tasca, her favorite movies, to dramas like Chicago, earning multiple awards and accolades, including a Grammy, an Emmy, a Golden Globe, and multiple NAACP Image Awards. I low-key feel like she needs to be in the running for an EGOT. So she has the Grammy, she got the Emmy. We need a Tony and an Oscar. Okay? We need a Tony and an Oscar for Queen Latifah. And then beyond entertainment, she's an entrepreneur and advocate for women's rights, LGBTQ plus rights, and body positivity. And of course, like I said, the hair is always laid. Um, Naga Genie says ICD salutes. What does that mean? What does that mean? But shout out to you. Thank you for commenting. So, again, Queen Latifah, she's just so dope. I feel like there's just certain celebrities that you just feel like you know. And sometimes they don't like that. They say they don't really like how relatable they are because people walk up to them thinking that they know them and they don't. Like, give me 50 feet. But she's just one of those celebrities who just has this type of energy that just makes you feel like you just think she's just super dope. Seems like she's a dope person. So I wanted to also talk about the ladies of living single as well, just a little bit. Um, you know, I always talk about how something about that combination of four black women together on a sitcom that is just like chef kiss for me is Living Single, it's Girlfriends, it's Insecure, it's Harlem. Like seeing different archetypes and different personalities and perspectives and the journey of four black women navigating life, career, and love. It's just something about it. It's like the perfect formula. I don't know. But Girlfriends, I mean, not Girlfriends. I might have to talk about Girlfriends maybe sometime this week. Living Single is just one of them ones, one of them classics. You know, I grew up watching it, young as hell, probably didn't really even know what was going on for real. I remember, I think it was like Martin would come on and then Living Single was right after, or maybe vice versa. Maybe it was Living Single then Martin, but definitely grew up watching it. But it hits different when you watch it in your 30s because it is that much more relatable because these women were in their late 20s, early 30s navigating these things that we have to navigate. Um, Nakajini says ICD equals ICV or you like and seeing the work that you're doing. Thank you. I thank you. I really appreciate you seeing me. I appreciate it. I love it. Thank you. And shout out to Gary Busted Down Brown. Says evening to the hostess in chat. Thank you for tuning in. And I saw you drop some comments on one of my shows the other day that you may have missed. You may have not been able to catch live, so I got to catch up with your comments. I saw them, but I didn't get a chance to engage with them. So I won't leave you hanging. I'll be responding to you. So I appreciate your support. So again, we're talking about Queen Latifah, but I wanted to also talk about the ladies of Living Single. So Khadijah James, played by Queen Latifah, y'all know she was the boss lady. She had Flavor Magazine, driven, confident, deeply loyal to her friends. She was just, I think Khadijah, her archetype was more of like the tomboyish side. But at the same time, she was sexy as well. She knew how to balance her masculine and feminine energy. Like she definitely could give you homegirl energy. She played basketball. Even with her childhood love interest Scooter, when he came around, they were like friends, but at the same time, like she would soften up around him. That was her Scooty Pootie. Like it was just, she is the definition of that boss woman who oftentimes left that at the workplace. When she was with her men, she was soft, she was feminine, she was sexy. And the fine men was on her too. Like, don't get it twisted. She was pulling them just as much as everybody else. But I think that her character really, I like the vulnerability that they showcase when it comes to like this entrepreneurial journey, y'all, because it's not always glitz and glam. Although she had the Flavor magazine, that's a big deal to have a black owned magazine. She had a full staff. Sinclair, her cousin, was the receptionist. She had the editors and the printers and the this and that and all of that. And she was getting big name celebrities to come and be interviewed and all of that. But she had some struggles too. She had some financial hardships that she had to overcome, and it really showcased like what it's like to be an entrepreneur. There's going to be some great months, and there's going to be some months where you like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay these bills, keep these lights on, or pay the staff, or pay myself, because usually you get paid last. So she also showed, you know, just the fact that she had always had a soft spot for Scooter. Like no matter who she was dating, whenever Scooter popped up, it was just back on. But she also set boundaries when it came to that as well. So I really liked Khadijah's character. She definitely didn't play about her friends, but she didn't play with them either. Like she would keep it real with them. They would definitely have their moments where they couldn't stand each other, but they always had each other's back as well. And I love that for them. And then we have Regine Hunter, played by Kim Fields. She was the fashionista, and this hair right here. She was the fashionista and social climber. She was like a socialite, always dressed in nines and never missing a chance to snag a wealthy man. One thing about Regine, she was bougie, but she was like bougetto, because she was, I don't know if they were from the hood per se, but she had a little ghetto in her. But she was super bougie, high sedity, designer down, loved to, dress. She had wigs that she switched up, she switched up her look. And she had very high standards and was very particular about what she wanted in a man. And she had to kiss a few frogs and go through certain things, but she did not waver on what it is that she wanted. And I believe at the end, she pretty much got what she wanted. She got a man. I don't know. I'm gonna have to rewatch. I binge watched again. I want to say in 2020 or 2021, sometime during the pandemic. I think did she end up with Heavy D, and he had money. I don't know, but I believe she got what she wanted in the end, and just the fact that she maintained her standards, it worked out for her in the end. She didn't settle, I'll say that. And then we have, of course, Maxine Shaw, attorney at law, played by Erica Alexander. She was the lawyer, very quick-witted, fiercely independent, and unapologetically bold. Maxine was so funny because she lived like she ain't have no money, but girl, you a lawyer. She did go through, I think, going from like a top firm to kind of being like a public defender or something like that, but she still had money. She lived across the street. These folks lived in Brownstone. So even though Khadijah, Regine, and Sinclair were roommates, Maxine had her own spot across the street, but she stayed at their house eating up all their food. Um, Very funny, very intelligent, but down to earth. I love a good smart mouth, because I got a smart mouth on me too. She was very quick with her comebacks, her and Kyle going back and forth with the banter. And she also, I feel like, balanced her masculine and feminine energy pretty well. She wasn't like a tomboy, but she did have masculine energy, kind of like, I don't want to say aggressive, but a dominant energy. So I think maybe more so like dark feminine energy with her. Um, she she was a little bit. I think she would maybe have been the most sexually liberated out of the four. Um, it says, uh, let me see, Gary Busted Down Brown. I have to say your whole name because I love it. Question: would you consider Maxine independent? I feel like for the most part she was. Like she had her own place, she had her own career, she made her own money. But I guess the dependent part would be coming over eating up somebody else's food and stuff. But I think for the most part she prided herself on being independent. Like kind of had she kind of gave feminist energy a little bit, but it took someone like Kyle to like take her out of that. Like they had their little back and forth bickering and banter that they would go back and forth with, but then there was always that sexual tension and sexual energy between them. And it was something about him that she was able to surrender and allow herself to, you know, be just be a girl. Like enjoy the energy between them. So I don't know. I think that she might have been, I think for the most part she was independent. Maybe a little hyper independent, but she definitely didn't mind coming over, getting what she could. She was kind of cheap, but she was independent. And then we have Sinclair James, played by Kim Coles, the bubbly and optimistic receptionist, kind hearted and endearing, with dreams of acting. So she was Khadijah's cousin. When I always thought that she was just like an airhead and, she had her blonde moments. They always want to have a type of dimwit type character on these shows. Kind of like, I think, what Phoebe on Friends, if you watch Friends, which was a carbon copy of a Living Single. But when I look back on it, Sinclair wasn't necessarily an airhead. She had her moments. She was just really a free spirited, um, spiritual type woman. Like, she was into crystals. She was very optimistic, very positive energy, very light and love. Like, her little woo 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 was really just trying to shift the energy of the room, or shift the energy of the conversation. When people were too negative or they were sad, she would want to comfort them. She had her little crystals and things, and back then I didn't know nothing about crystals, so I probably didn't pay any attention. But she was just a free spirited type, childlike woman. But she also had another side to her too. She didn't play when she needed to set boundaries or when she needed to speak up for herself, even if it was difficult for her to do at first. She would stand on business, and then she never did waver on following her dream. So although she was the receptionist and worked for her cousin, um, she continued to pursue acting, and she started off with roles that weren't so great, and then she got into her own career. Nakajini says, is being independent a survival strategy or a personality trait? mm. I think it's a survival strategy or a trauma response, honestly. Survival meaning, for the most part, we all have to be I don't want to say independent, but we have to be self-sufficient. So sometimes that independence comes from just obligation. Like, you got to pay the bills, you got to take care of yourself, you have to be responsible, and that comes with some level of being independent if you don't have a village or if you don't have a partner to lean on. Um, but then the hyper independence, or the type of independence that gets people saying they don't need no man, or they don't need no help or whatever, or they're afraid to ask for help. That could be a trauma response from being disappointed, never receiving the help that they needed, being abandoned, being neglected, being hurt, um, living in poverty, just fear of going back to that type of lifestyle. There's a plethora of things that can cause someone to be hyper independent. So I do, even though I'm kind of talking about the women, another thing that I liked was that they had um, their close relationships and friendships, platonic and romantic, because depending on who we're talking about, with Kyle and Overton. Because of course Kyle and Maxine had their little on and off again love affair, and the way it ended, um, Maxine it was really interesting to see Max's journey, because she never really was worried about, you know, tapping into her maternal side or even her femininity as much. Even though I say she exuded that dark feminine energy, she wasn't like really studying the maternal instincts and nurturing and being up under a man like that, or being in relationship or marriage. But then she went and got a reading or something towards the end of the series, and she found out that she had been a man in all of her previous lifetimes. So something within her said, okay, I've been a man in all these different lifetimes, been a warrior, all these things. And anybody that's into this, I would also recommend that you get like an Akashic Records reading. If you need a recommendation of who to get one by, the email me, oshacerese@gmail.com. There, I received an Akashic Records reading last year by someone who is so tapped in, and it is really interesting to know what your previous lifetimes, like where did you come from, what have you experienced in your past, and how it relates to what you're going through now. Like this lady was able to tell me a lot of the lifetimes that I've lived, some of the dynamics of my parents, like I was my parents in previous lifetimes. And I've been told that not just from her but from someone who did a she did a birth chart reading on me. So I'm into that type of stuff. Everybody's not into that, but I definitely recommend getting an Akashic Records reading. But Max was able to find out that she was a man in every lifetime. So she decided that in this lifetime, she was going to experience something that no man could do, which was give birth, become pregnant and give birth. But she wasn't studying doing it with no man. So she went to the sperm bank. Spoiler alert for anybody that ain't never seen Living Single. But she went to the sperm bank. She did artificial insemination. I don't know if I don't remember, I don't think the term IVF, in vitro fertilization, or IUI, intrauterine implantation. I think that's what it's called. I don't think those were the terms back then. I think it was just artificial insemination. She went to the sperm bank, whatever. Come to find out, once she read the description of the donor that they used for her artificial insemination, it was Kyle. Because back in the day, he had donated some sperm for whatever reason. So it ended up that she was pregnant by Kyle. So they decided to, I think they decided to co-parent. It was the end of the series. So they did make an appearance on, was it Girlfriend? It was Half and Half, I think. One of those shows that I think they went to Half and Half, and they did show like Max and Kyle together with their little girl. And it was interesting. But I want them to do a Living Single movie. I want them to do a Girlfriends movie. We need to run it back. And then with Overton, I felt like, Overton had his airhead moments too, similar to Sinclair. But in actuality, he was an entrepreneur. He was an independent contractor. He was a handyman. We all love a man that knows how to fix things. He was masculine. He was gentle with Sinclair, and he respected her boundaries, and he took his time to court her. And I really love that about the dynamics of Sinclair and Overton's love story and their journey. Let's see what's going on here. Peace, the word 9%. Nakajimi says, thank you for the answer. You're greatly appreciated. Thank you. You're welcome. Shout out to the word, peace and light in the chat. The word 9%. All right. So yeah, so I encourage anybody to go watch Living Single if you are in your 30s and you haven't watched it in a while. I think it hits different. There's so many things that we can learn from their journeys and their stories and the things that they shared. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. So the main topic I wanted to get into, let me sip me some kombucha. And by sip, I mean take 3 gulps. Okay. So y'all know that I host speed dating and singles mixers. And I have my Intentional Love Collective for hopeful romantics and intentional daters who are looking for love in 2025. You can find the link to join the Intentional Love Collective. It's just a database, a growing community of singles. The link is in my bio. Totally free to join. It just helps me to curate events with your desires, preferences, and values in mind. So I say all this to say, although I'm in the dating space and I'm interviewing people who are on their journey, also single and on my own intentional dating journey. And, I work with people who are looking to learn how to vet a little bit more properly and just prepare on their healing journey and all of that, preparing for life, for love, for career, whatever. Modern dating is different. I'm saying all that to say I do not claim to be a dating expert or a dating coach. Although I'm in that space, I am a certified life coach. So my expertise is to support people on their journey of healing, self-love, self-discovery, personal development, even with your content strategies and all of that. If you are a business owner, influencer, I help with that. But I do support people on their journey of dating, but I don't claim to be a dating expert. I'm learning to be one, but I'm not claiming to be one yet. So I'm saying that to disclaim when I talk about dating and I give certain dating tips, these are tips that I'm also navigating through myself and that I've seen that have worked for my clients, my life coaching clients, the people that I meet when I do my mixers and things like that. So I'm just learning. I'm gathering up a lot of research. I'm learning from my own experiences, from people in my close circle, and from people who attend my events, from people online. I'm really paying attention to what's going on, what's being said, the complaints, the highlights, the red and the green flags that we're looking for, and the shifts and the changes. So I'm noticing it's not a new change, but I feel like it's starting to be a rapid increase in the role reversal of the pursuit. I feel like women are now, I don't want to say required, maybe expected, maybe, let's just go with expected. No, let's go with women are leaning more into the role of being bolder in these modern dating times because I'm seeing, everybody that is single is really out here trying. We're trying different things. We're trying dating apps. We're trying to get out and socialize. We're on the social media apps talking about it and having conversations. And there's different pieces that are missing. So we have the whole thing of, men versus women battles that we're seeing all the time. I ain't studying all that. I'm looking for people who are actually, they still like the opposite sex or whoever they date. They're still wanting love. They still desire that in their lives. And they still have hope for that. They have not given up on love. And I'm seeing that a lot of people are looking for love and wanting love. A lot of men and women are wanting the same things. They're wanting closeness, connection, intimacy, partnership. They're wanting meaningful conversations and genuine connections and all of that. So my contribution to the dating space are my singles events, speed dating, singles mixers, the Intentional Love Collective. There's going to be some discussion panels coming up soon. And then I also do connections and conversations where I bring on a man or woman, man and a woman, or someone who's a little bit more in touch with their feminine side and someone tapped in with their masculine energy, to have a conversation on how to bridge the gap between men and women. So that is my contribution to the space, as well as, of course, my coaching to support people on preparing and getting themselves together. But I'm seeing that there's been a shift when it comes to shooting the shot. So for the men in the chat, y'all let me know. And if there are any women in the chat currently, how do you feel about women shooting their shot? Now, I think that a lot of women have typically been uncomfortable with making the first move, being the one to approach, being the one to reach out, sliding in DMs, asking for numbers, all of these things, initiating conversations. But we're learning that we need to put some actions to our desires. People are manifesting love and all of that, but you got to put action behind a manifestation for it to come into fruition. So we got to get out these houses. We got to put in energy into our dating experience to be able to get out there. So the word 9% says, I'm going to be honest, from the title, I say no. From my personal perspective, when I let a woman select me, it never worked out. When I selected, it always worked out. See? Gary needs help on his content. He needs a one-on-one book. Link in my bio, baby. I got, if you already know, kind of have an idea of what you want to do with your content, just book a strategy session. It's under content strategy, but if you need a little bit more insight on my services, book a discovery call. So, according to the 2023 study by Bumble, over 60% of women feel more empowered when they make the first move. A survey from Psychology Today found that 78% of men appreciate when women take the initiative, and it shows confidence and interest. So we out here confused because there are still men who are traditional and still women who are traditional when it comes to these type of things. The women are, I did a whole show when I was still doing my Cool Weirdos podcast. It's still on my channel, about how to give a man the green light. So instead of us doing the chasing and pursuing and walking up and doing all the things, like there were just some tips and some conversation around the things we can do to still be in the position of being pursued, but allowing a man to know that we're interested, like, smiling, waving, putting ourselves out there, getting out the house, and just being open to conversation and being approachable and things of that nature. But I'm starting to see that I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I think that there was a big shift. The dating pool and the dating scene has been interesting for a while. I'll use the word interesting. But something happened post-pandemic. I don't know if we was in the house too long, if people just were away from each other for too long, but it got weird. So I don't know. Gary Busted Down Brown says, I wouldn't be offended by a woman if she approached me. It allows me to see how she sensed something unique in me. Okay. So me personally, I don't really like to have to do this. I'm not used to that. But I don't be outside like that either. So, and I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I'm 36. So I don't know if it was the time, the era, or my age, but I know back in the day, like early 20s, when I was in my early 20s, it was, you know, 20. When did I turn 20? 2008. So I would say like in the 20 the that range in the 2010s, I would be approached all the time. I'm going outside, I'm being approached, you driving, somebody pulls up, hey, they talking to you in the car. I don't feel like I was really that much outside like that for real. And during that time, not no more than I am now. I would probably go out a little bit more than I do now, like clubs and stuff like that. But I wasn't a huge clubber then either. So it just seems like the climate has changed. I don't know if it's because of the Me Too movements, and a lot of women are scared of men, and there's a lot going on in the world. So men may be a little bit more hesitant to approach, or hesitant. Some men can't handle rejection, so they might not be approaching because of that reason. I don't know. But it's not the same level of being approached as it was back in the day. I would say that. The word 9% says, I see no problem in a woman letting a person know they're interested. I'm happy I'm married. I feel for single people in modern day. Y'all got too much to worry about. I'm trying to tell you. And I love that you are content with your, happily married life, because I know when I was on Facebook really heavily before my page was hacked and deleted a couple years ago, I just got back on a couple months ago, but I'm not on there like that. I would be in groups with a lot of people that had certain things to say, really around the time when Kevin Samuels was still living and like all of his content was going viral and stuff. There were like married men who, followed him and agreed with his rhetoric or whatever. And that's fine. That's your business. But it just seemed like there was an attack on single women specifically. And I would just be wondering, like, why is your married ass so much in single women's business? Like, go take your wife on a date. I don't know. It was just, I don't know. That's just my gripe about that. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. I saw a post. Oh, I was going to give y'all a story time. So, maybe 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I was in this restaurant. If you're familiar with the Atlanta area, I'm vegan. So I go to this raw vegan restaurant called Tassili's Raw Reality pretty often. And this restaurant sells kale wraps. It sounds boring, but I'm telling you, they are delicious. They are addicting. It's black owned, black woman owned. And the line is usually out the door. And it takes a long time because they make everything in real time. So I was in line, one day, and I was looking kind of rough. That's probably why I didn't shoot my shot. But I was looking kind of rough. I was just there trying to get my food. And there was a man that was like two people ahead of me. And physically, I was very attracted to him. But of course, his back was turned towards me, and then there was a person right behind us. So I didn't really know how to make that connection. Like, I'm thinking, I ain't really looking my best. So even if I get his attention, he might not see the potential here. So I think I ended up being in the wrong line. I think the line that he was in, I was behind the wrong line. I think that was the pickup line for call-in orders, and I needed to be in the line to get my food made real time. So I think the only thing I said to him was like, I think I might have said, "Are you in line to get your food?" I don't know, something stupid. He answered, and then I went to the line that I was supposed to be in. And for like, I felt a little bit of, I don't like to say regret, but I felt a little bit of disappointment that I didn't say anything, because it's very rare these days too. I will say that. Like I said, back in the day, I got hollered at a little bit more often. Back in the day, I feel like I would see men that I was attracted to a little bit more often than now. Now it's like a fucking, excuse my language, but it's like a rare sighting. It's like you see somebody you're attracted to, like, oh my, what? It's like you're speechless because it's just such a rare thing. So the fact that I saw him and I didn't say anything, and I'm just like, damn, what are the odds that I'll ever run into him again? Maybe because, he possibly might be vegan. He's up in the raw vegan place, but never saw him again. And I had asked the girlies, I think I asked everybody, like, what should I have done? So I'm gonna ask y'all, what should I have done in that moment to spark conversation or to let him know that I was interested or to give him the green light? So the word 9% says, I'm blessed to have found someone crazy enough to deal with me. I ain't messing that up. Facts. Truly blessed to have found my wife. I'm happy for you. What part of town or where do you all live? Put in the chat where y'all stay, what state or city you're in. So most recently, I had another opportunity to exercise my approaching a man. I can just cringe just talking about it. But I guess we have to be a little bit more open these days. So y'all know in February, at the beginning of February, we did a raw vegan and juice cleanse. So we went to the farmers market. They have a big farmers market here in Atlanta called the DeKalb Farmers Market. It's huge, full of everything you need, very good prices. And it's about a little over an hour drive for us to get there because we live north of Atlanta. And so drove there, got all of our shopping done, and forgot beets. By the time we got in the car, I'm like, dang, I forgot the beets. So I'm like, oh, maybe I should just go to the grocery store, the local grocery store, and get it. And then I thought, like, why would I do that? I'm right here. It's going to be way more at the grocery store. So I went back in by myself. It was me and my mom that went together. So I went back in, and as I'm walking in, it's two men. One of them I'm attracted to. So I'm like, damn, what am I going to do? So here I go with the little jokey joke talking about, I meant it, but it was kind of like on some jokey joke stuff. I'm like, y'all know y'all walking slow, because they were. And they looked at me. They didn't laugh. They were just like, oh, okay, my bad. And so I walked past them, went, got my beets, they ended up right in the aisle directly in front of me. So I'm like, damn, here goes another opportunity. So I just walked up to them and I was like, are y'all single? And they both were like, yeah, why? And I was like, because I host singles events and, I'm just building my database so that I could be able to invite people out when I have my next event. So I got both of their numbers and I asked them were they related because, you got to find out if you see two men together. I've approached two men to talk to them about a speed dating event that I had and asked them if they were single, and they said, yeah. And then as I kept questioning them, they were like, we ain't coming because we together. I'm like, why didn't y'all just say that then? So I was trying to make sure they weren't together. They said they were cousins and they said they were from Nigeria. So whatever, got the information, left. Totally forgot to send the messages out until last week. So I sent them identical text messages, except for the one that I was actually attracted to. I said, I was drawn to you all because I thought you were handsome, but I forgot to send you these links, da 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 da, boom, boom, boom. So, I mean, hello, that's me letting you know that I'm attracted to you. So he responded and he was just like, oh, hey, I'm glad to hear from you. I remember you coming up to us when I was expecting your message, but I never got it. I'm glad you reached out. So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. I don't know what I said. What did I say? I said, oh yeah, February was busy. And then let me see. Let me just go to the messages, y'all. I still got them. Get y'all in my business a little bit. You know I love a story time. I'm gonna read y'all comments in a second. I have so many messages in this phone that I have to cipher through. Hold up. Okay. I didn't know it was that long ago. Okay, so he said, greetings, Osha. Oh, yeah, I remember you. Expected your message, but never got it. Good to finally hear from you. I said, LOL, February was a busy month. How are you? He said, I'm well. Hope you good, too. So I said, awesome. All is well. He said, nice. So usually, if I'm on a dating app or something like that, and a man is being that dry with the one word answers and not giving me a question in response, I'm done after two. But I was like, okay, whatever. I said, you gonna fill out the form? And I sent the little eye emojis. He was like, yes, already did. So I went and looked at his submission. And, his little stats was kind of matching some of the things that I like. And then under his physical preferences for his dream partner, he put tall, similar to the woman who approached me. So to me, you kind of hinting that you like my height, you like my stature. That's what I'm getting out of it. So I read it and I was just like, okay, I see it now. Thank you. Have you started dating again since you're newly single? Because he's only been single for 4 months. And he said, not yet. Baby, that's all I got. Now, some people aren't texters. Then, he's Nigerian. I've dated Nigerian guys before. He's a little younger. I've never dated a younger Nigerian. He's 34. The two Nigerian guys that I've dated before were probably like 6 or 7 plus years older than me. But I don't do all that dry shit. Like, what's up? Either you gonna pick up what I'm putting down, or I'm gonna keep it moving. So we'll see. I'll invite him out to a singles event when I have one, and he'll have the opportunity then to say if he wants to take me on a date instead. So we'll see. Let's see. Gary Busted Down Brown says, should people's preference for their partner be inside out or outside in? Definitely inside out, but the attraction is going to happen outside in. I ain't gonna lie. Like when you see somebody, you can't see their values and their heart and their spirit. You see the outer, and then whether or not you decide to pursue further, then you will, be able to see what's within. The word 9% says, what's important in your 20s changes in your 30s, so your whole perspective changed. Absolutely. And a lot of has changed about me since I've been in my 30s. So you're right. What I attracted back then, not saying it was all bad, but definitely different. Oh yeah, the word 9% is what up though, Burbs of Detroit. Nagajini says they are an NC in the building. One of my good friends is in North Carolina in I think Durham. Is it Durham? I think the Durham area. Gary Busted Down Brown says, I think if you spoke to him, I think he would have been physically attracted to you. And when he responded to you, observe your intellectual beauty. But it was so awkward in the way that the line was. Like there was somebody in front of me. So it's not like maybe if he was right in front of me, I probably could have just been like, what you order? That's the type of thing. That would be probably what I would have said. Like, what did you order? Okay, is that your usual? Have you tried this? And I would tell him about my order. And then I would be like, are you vegan? And then go from there. But it was so awkward because there was a woman in front of us. Like, I don't know. I felt weird to try to spark a conversation. Probably should have just said hi and smile. That was enough. I'm telling y'all I was looking rough that day. The word 9% says, out here pulling numbers. Oh God, I gotta start getting out here getting these digits. Nagajini says all you gotta do is look at the man in his eyes, smile, and say hi. Okay, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna be outside. Hi. All spring and summer long. And if I don't have a man by the end of the summer, I'm gonna blame y'all for y'all's advice. So I did want to share this story that I saw on Threads. Y'all know I'm constantly looking for Thread story times and what's trending on Instagram for y'all. So this lady went viral yesterday. Her name is Beth Michelle _X on Threads. And she says, I gotta keep going because it's a long story at this point. Ooh, child. Okay, so she says, I have a crush on this guy. He's 6'6", very, very sweet, hardworking, funny, has a dad bod, but no kids, and is Christian. Should I shoot my shot? I'll send screenshots. So let me just tell y'all a little bit of what the comments were saying. Somebody asked her, what's a dad bod? Because I'm here now. And she said, like a thick man, muscular, but thick. LOL, that's all I got. So the comments say, you had me at 6'6", then Christian solidified it. He's a legit man of God. Maybe show interest and see if he catches the hint. She says, sis, from what I've seen and heard, this man knows Jesus, but I would like to find out for myself. Hopefully he does. Someone said, why is he single, by the way? We need an update. She said, ooh, this is a good question. Someone else said, dad bod means he has a 401k. She said, our good sis Kiki said, they don't call you hunky unky for nothing. This is a man. A man. I don't know what that means. Someone said, girl, I shot my shot and then found out he was very sweet, hardworking, funny, and Christian, hiding 200 pounds of lean muscle underneath his uniform. Been thanking God ever since. Another woman says, no, if he doesn't approach you, then he's not interested. If you approach him, but he likes you, you will run him off. Just be patient. A man must make the first move. How else will you know if he was smitten by you? Old school advice. See, these are the things that be confusing us. Someone else said, how old is he? If he is over 30, then why isn't he married already? If he is divorced or widowed, that's one thing. But one of those Christian, never been married, 35, 42, or 51-year-old males, y'all Christian women be picking up toys off the defective shelf for all the wrong reasons. Well, damn. Let's see. Okay, so she got some advice, whatever, both times. She said she was going to ask ChatGPT how to shoot her shot. Okay, so she sent the screenshot, and this is what she texted the man. She said, oh, peace out. The word 9% said, have a wonderful show. I got a side out. Thank you for pulling up. Nagajini said, pulling a man is one thing, but pulling the right man is for you is another. Absolutely. And keeping the man is another. Absolutely. Once I get him, I know what to do with him. Okay. I just need him. I got that part. Okay. So She said, "Hey, you, it's Beth. It was really nice officially meeting you at the party over the weekend. I do not usually reach out first like this, but I'm interested in getting to know more about you. If that's possible, let me know. I know you're probably driving, so be safe and respond when you can." And she put a comment over the screenshot that said, "I just want to vomit. I don't know why I listen to y'all. When and if he answers, I'm going to throw the phone across the room." So then she showed the screenshot that he read it like 2 hours prior. And then she said, "He answered, I have dismissal and will update when I get back." So his response was, "More about me, LOL. I didn't know I was an interesting guy. The party was fun also, and meeting you was a real treat." So she commented and was like, "I'm a treat." So she said, "Yes, more about you. Well, you seem very pleasant, and our brief interaction piqued my interest. May I ask, before we go any further, are you single?" And he said, "Yes, ma'am, LOL. I shouldn't be replying any further if I'm not. What about you?" She said, "Is there anyone who thinks they're in a relationship with you?" He says, "LOL, not at all, love. Do I need a resume to send you?" She said, "Yes, LOL, with at least 3 to 7 references. Thanks for your honesty. I really appreciate that." So she said, okay, so he sent another one and he said, "LOL. Nah, on a serious note, I'm single and ready to mingle. Only for you, though. Mingling is a bit far-fetched." She said, "Mingling, huh? So is that cheat code for taking this lady on a date?" He said, "Flounders tonight, 8 o'clock. He ain't wasting no time. Okay." She said, "Let me check my schedule really quick." And then she said, "And only for me, so you knew about me." And so she updated the threads. She said, "I'm going to dinner tonight. Y'all came through today. I'll update hopefully with pictures. Yikes, what did I get myself into?" And then she said, "I love how dramatic y'all are. Y'all gagged and threw up and fell down the stairs all day with me." So then she gave us an update with her. This is a video of her. And she says, "Don't mind this calm face. I am freaking out. He's going to be here in 14 minutes. Here's the plan. Put on clothes. The restaurant is popular but relaxed. Great choice for a first date. A cute dark brown dress and bringing a denim jacket just in case. The makeup is soft, right? Gosh, this is ridiculous, but just a quick brown line and some NYX lip gloss done. I did not shave my legs because keep them cute 6'6" man of God hands to yourself, sir." And she says, "Drown myself in Carolina Herrera." So then she gave us an audio update. And she said, "Y'all, I'm finna pass out. This man," she was like, "I'm finna pass out in this man car. I'm finna pass out. He went in the store super quick. I'm finna pass out. I'm finna pass out. I'm finna pass out. Y'all, there are flowers on the backseat of the car. Oh my God, if they are for me, I'm gonna pass out." And then she updated again and said, "Y'all, we're leaving now. The flowers were for me." So she said, "I'm in the house now. He did walk me to the door after sitting for an hour to talk in the car. He kissed my hand, said he had a great time and will reach out to schedule our next date. I'm going to bed." So then she gave us an update today. She said, "Okay, but he was an absolute gentleman the entire time, and I'm not harping on that because I'm not accustomed to proper behaving men, but this man was intentional about making the evening appropriate, safe, and welcoming. He asked all kinds of open-ended questions, which from his text, I was a little concerned that the conversation might be lacking. I don't know if he prepped with the Council of Gentlemen, but he came correct. Sigh, I just need to remain calm." And okay. She said she was going to nickname him Fabio. So she said, "Three things I observed from yesterday's experience and one action being taken. Some of us are literal." Okay, that's basically about the comments. We don't need to talk about that. So she said, "Anyways, he came to the door, knocked, real forceful. At first, she was like, this man must be the police. I waited for a hot 3 minutes, sweating in the in the hallway before I called out like a child, 1 minute." So she says, "I opened the door and he was standing there very relaxed in his body." And then in caps, she says, "His cologne hit me like a ton of bricks." In my inner man, I'm passed out on the floor because my knees can't take the smell. It's too much. Side note, my brothers win her over through her senses. So she said we greeted one another. He asked if I was ready to go or if I needed more time. He didn't mind waiting on the porch. She said, oh, so you don't mind waiting and waiting on the outside? Okay. So she said, but I was ready. Y'all knew I had those 14 minutes last night to get it together, and my dress did come out the dryer less perfumed. So let's go. He takes my hand and helps me down the staircase. If I ever wanted to throw myself down, it was right there. He was just being so mindful. So we hop in the, what'd she say? So we hop in the whip. She spelled it differently. And she said, Fabio drives a truck with a toolbox on the back. That has to mean something, right? I'm sitting in the passenger seat like a princess I am. He hops in and we drive off. I'm pinned up in the corner, mind you, because this can't be real. She says, so now my phone is going off because the threads updates. Okay, so she said Fabio started asking about my day, gentle questioning until he said he needed to make a stop to the local convenience store. Here is where I knew the voice note was needed. So he pulls in, keeps the big truck running, and says he'll be right back. He'll be right back. I gracefully said, okay, see you in a bit. So she said that he got chapstick at the corner store. And she was like, I peeped the chapstick. I was like, Fabio, sir, you can't kiss these sanctified lips. Also, do y'all just be kissing? Because don't let nobody crusty, dusty son and daughter kiss up on y'all without checking out the blood work and recent dental visits. She's strict, y'all. She want to see your my chart and your dental records. I feel you. I feel you, because kissing can come with a plethora of things. It is not cute. I don't know how folks be making out and doing all that. First time meeting, So she said, we got to the restaurant. He said, wait, right there, I'll grab you. So we already knew about the flowers, but we didn't want to assume. But he opened the door behind me, grabbed the flowers, and then opened the door for me and says, these are for you. Now, I did see some of y'all say, girl, calm down over flowers. No, I think it is appropriate to be happy about someone's effort and thought process about you. I agree. I don't know why people would be so mad about folks being excited about stuff. And I think it's because we don't want people to feel like we're getting excited about bare minimum. But I think in these modern dating times, a lot of effort is lacking. So when you do meet someone that is going the extra mile or doing little sweet gestures, it's cute. It's appreciated. She said, can anyone please tell me why sweet Fabio had a table right in the middle of the room? I would never have picked it, but once we sat and ordered drinks, things started to settle a bit. Then the man asked, is this making you a bit nervous? Sir, first of all, I didn't know my body perspired this much. She said I should have put a tampon under my armpits, but then he said I was a bit nervous too. So she showed the flowers that he gave, and she said, just a moment for the flowers. Are they from Publix? Yes. How do I know? Because Fabio left the flowers in the store wrapping. Am I bothered? No. We can always do a how to send your girls flowers course sometime in the future. Y'all, I hope there's a future. So she says, so I'm sitting at the table in the middle room. I'm sitting at the middle of the room table. Fabio is sitting adjacent. The cologne is eating me up. My phone is vibrating. I can't figure out how to mute threads. And it's time to order food. But what do you eat on the first date? I forgot to ask y'all, what should I get? Then, like he was reading my mind, which began to wonder, are we splitting the bill? I don't know about y'all, but my mother always said a lady shouldn't leave the house without at least $20. So, I had a now very moist 100 sitting in my chesticle area. Fabio said, get whatever you want. I will handle it. And let me just interject that it's not about the money. I know some of our male counterparts may think that, but there are just expectations, that's all. So now the dilemma is what we order, snow crabs, or do we keep it classy and order a salad? Mind you, Fabio said he got the bill. She said, y'all, I ordered the least messy and high-smelling thing I could think of. It was some roasted chicken and vegetables with a side salad. Very gentle, right? I don't want this man to know just yet that I crunch chicken bones. Sigh. So then she says, anyway, he starts to tell me about himself. Here are the green flags. He was open about his feelings. Now, if he was lying, he's good, but he seems genuine and didn't shy away from questions. He speaks of his family tenderly. When speaking about my goals, he was encouraging me in the moment. celebrated some of my wins, and we laughed about my horrible losses. The values aligned. Now we didn't talk about everything, but it sounds like I won't have to compromise my beliefs. She says, now here's the potential red flags. I asked why he was single, and he didn't say anything negative about himself, but he did, in my opinion, harp on the ex for a few minutes longer than I would have, so we're keeping an eye on that. Number two, this may be me nitpicking, but when I think on the whole day, I just want to be careful that he isn't a love bomber, like early gushy, over the top gestures, and then fizzles out before a real connection is made. And she says, three, his nose is a little big. So she says, so now we gather our things. He assists me out of my chair after paying the bill, insert faint. We are walking out, and he has his rather large man hands gently resting on my back, not my backside, because Fabio. Now I'm back in the big Bob the Builder can we fix it truck. My flowers are resting on my lap, and I'm literally just glowing from the inside out. My $100 still is in my chesticle area, unspent, lips unkissed, middle bust down, still flat and blowing in the chilly air conditioning, and belly full. Feeling pretty and happy and accomplished. So anyway, we drive all the way back to my place. He says, hang on, I'll get you out again. But then we just sit. Are those the signs of consistency I smell? Probably the cologne. Anyway, we just sit and talk like that. Sit and talk car after work and scroll on social media, kind of decompressing conversation. And a lot of eye contact, which I am too awkward for. Like, please stop. The car conversation is so refreshing and just fun, easy, fluid. And then we just hit a spot where it was enough for the night. He gets out, opens the door, takes my hand, and helps me out his excavator. I grab my flowers and jacket, and then we just walk to my door as he gently supports me up my staircase. But now I'm like, wait. How do I say goodbye? Then before I put my entire foot and ankle in my mouth, he said that he had a great time and would like to schedule something soon. I said I would absolutely love to, and I thanked him for treating me nicely, he said. And I quote, always throw me off a cliff, is what she put in between asterisks. She said, I finally find my key to unlock my door, and I turn to say goodnight. He reaches for my hand and kisses it and says goodnight. I go in and lock my house up like Fort Knox, immediately wash my hands, remember the dental visit comment, and then go to my mess of a room and throw myself on my bed. And that's the end of date one. So what do y'all think about her story time? She put herself out there and she reached out to this man. I don't know why she talking about his big nose is a red flag, because baby, did you not see his nose before you shot your shot and said you were attracted to him? Let me look at these comments. Gary Busted Down Brown says, what if he would have sent his 3 to 4 references? That would have been dope. Commander Alpha Turkey says, shout out to Osha. The word 9% shared you out. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. All right. Bare minimum is a plus and rarity these days. It seems like it. Thank y'all. Thank you, realists on here with 3s instead of E's. Hashtag slide accordingly. Blessings to you as well. Thank y'all for pulling up. So I thought that it was interesting. I don't know. I wish I knew more about how they met. Like, whose party were they at? What vibe? Like, has she met him before or seen him before? What the circumstances are, why he didn't shoot his shot first. I think that what she sent him was pretty reasonable. It wasn't giving thirsty. It was just like, hey, let me read her initial message one more time, because I don't think it was too much. And then I like the fact that once she put the ball in his court, then he picked it up. Like, okay, what you gonna do with it at this point? She didn't have to continue to pursue. She let him know that she was interested, and then he took it from there. So her initial message, hey, you, it's Beth. It was really nice officially meeting you at the party over the weekend. I do not usually reach out first like this, but I'm interested in getting to know more about you. If that's possible, let me know. I know you're probably driving, so be safe and respond when you can. Because At that point, he could have just been like, okay, it was nice meeting you too. Um, I think you're cool. Like, he could have gave the friend zone language and said either I'm not interested like that, I got something else going on. We can meet up, or I'll catch you at the next party, whatever curve he wanted to get. You know what? I just forgot about it. I did shoot my shot one other time, maybe a couple of times. But one other time in recent years. When I look back at some of my messages when I was in my 20s, it was giving a little thirsty and lack of self-awareness, because there was this guy I had a crush on social on Instagram. And when I looked at the messages, I'm like, in my head then I felt like we was feeling each other, because he would give me a little bit of energy back sometimes. Like, he would respond or like or comment under some of my pictures, and he would, like, I think he FaceTimed me once, just little things to give me a little bit of energy, but mine was giving thirsty. Like, girl, reel it back in. So now no, I'm not giving thirsty. But recently, maybe like 2 or so years ago, somebody, I scrolled upon their page on TikTok, wasn't necessarily that physically attractive. Like, he wasn't my physical type. He was handsome, but not my preference physically. And he was vegan, and he had, said something or whatever. And I'm just like, where are the single vegan men? I commented, but I wasn't necessarily shooting my shot at him directly. And he was like, we out here. Didn't follow him, whatever, kept it moving. Months later, I scrolled upon him live on that app as well. I be trying to be careful not shouting out other apps because they be tripping over here. Um, so I saw him live. I tapped into the live, and we was vibing the whole time. Like, had the same similar music taste, and the conversation. Mind you, I'm just typing in conversation. He's responding back because he's live, and we had a little vibe. We had the exact same. Literally, like, music is one of my made up love languages. And so when someone shares the same love of music to me, like, that's just, it does something to me. So we bonded over that. And then, I started following him, and then I'm thinking like, oh, this is nice. Like, he's tall, he's vegan, he's attractive. Again, not necessarily my type, but he's attractive. We got along. I started having a little crush, and I hadn't had a crush in a while. And it felt like a heart chakra opening experience, because I think over time of not feeling that, feeling a crush or having butterflies or being excited about somebody over time, I think that does create somewhat of a blockage of your heart chakra. Like, self-love, love of your family and love of your community and your village and all that is beautiful, but that romantic love or lack thereof, or lack of intimacy, sometimes can give you a little bit of blockage there as well. And so when I had this crush, I felt like it did something to me. Like, not on no lust type thing, but all like a healing type of energy. And so I'm like, I started to feel away. And so I did shoot my shot. I reached out to him. I think that he posted something he posted that gave like different types of single men. And I kind of responded like, well, which one are you? And he responded in a way that it was kind of like the single man that's not looking or something like that. And I was like, oh, I would have thought that you were these type of men. And I told him like, something about being attracted to, I think we align in a lot of different ways or something like that. And he curved me in a gentle way. It was just kind of like, I'm not really on that right now. So I accepted it. I fell back, and I automatically friend zone myself, and we're cool to this day. Like, we're literally cool. And I don't feel no way. I don't have the crush anymore. After getting to know him a little bit more as just from a friend perspective, I'm like, oh, a lot of the things that I was having a crush about, that was like surface level things. So when I got to know him more of his personality and his values and things like that, there were a lot of things that we didn't align on. So sometimes people come into your life just to kind of give you that experience or that feeling again. It's not necessarily your person. I'm looking at the comments, y'all. A bold woman is always appreciated. One thing about a man, if he likes you, you definitely gonna let you know. He's definitely gonna let you know. I agree too, and I feel like that about me too. So like men that be in my comments or be in my DMs, literally talking to themselves, like I might be friendly and respond to like a compliment or something like that. But if you're like shooting your shot, shooting your shot, shooting your shot, either I haven't opened any of the messages, or I'm responding in a friend zone type way, like literally, if I was interested in you, you would know. You would have the green light, the green flag, the airport traffic control signal would lead to I am interested. And it's not even having to be that extra. It's just a certain energy that I will exude. Because when I'm not interested, talked about this, I'm actually reviewing Ready to Love, one of my favorite dating reality shows. So some of the reviews are on my page, and I'm gonna upload the rest of them when I get off later, after I take a shower. Um, the one that's not uploaded yet, it'll be up in about 2 hours, I'll say. One of the ladies, she is a firefighter, and she talked about how she taps into her masculine energy a lot because of her career as a firefighter, and she's like top dog at her station. Like she's a not really a veteran, but she's been there for a while, so she trains rookies, and she is that chick. So she says that she has to tap into her masculine energy often at work, but she doesn't want to have to always do that when she's outside of work. She says she's an adrenaline junkie. She likes challenges, she likes thrills. But I noticed that when she is communicating with men that she likes, she's super flirty, super feminine, soft, like present, and all of that. But when she was with talking to a man, she has a rule that she doesn't date other firefighters. So she was talking to this other guy, or this guy that happens to be a fighter on the show as well, and it was like her energy completely changed from when she's feminine and flirty with the guys that she likes. It was She was leaned more into her masculine energy. She little boyed him. She insulted him. She was condescending. She's like, yeah, yeah, I know, I like, what station are you at? Oh, okay, yeah, no, like I don't date guys that are firefighter. Her voice changed. It was not. It was deeper. She was just like, and how tall are you? So I'm like, whoa. um, I have a tendency of shutting off that open energy, I guess it would say, receptive energy, when I'm with a man that I'm not interested in that way. So it probably will come off more so like close to flirtation, homegirl energy, but I'm still feminine. I don't want to make anybody feel, I don't want to condescend anybody or like belittle anyone to let them know that I'm not interested unless they're disrespectful to me. And even then, I try not to belittle anyone unless they take me there, because I can go there too. Um, it has to be a really below the belt argument for me to go there, because I do believe in rules and disagreements and arguments. But with her, she just completely switched and little boyed him and disrespected him and sent him on his way. But I definitely feel like people have to read the room. Like when it comes to rejection, when it comes to redirection, it doesn't have to be you don't have to take offense. I was rejected he was gentle with his rejection, but I didn't take offense. I didn't feel like that's a challenge for me to go harder and make him like me. Like, I get it. I respect what you said. I appreciate it. And now we can explore friendship, which I'm glad we did, because it wasn't even nothing that I would have been long term would have been compatible with me. So we have to be able to read the room when people are not interested. If they're not giving back that same energy, then just understand that it's not nothing personal. It's just a redirection. So speaking of, you know, what I was just talking about when it comes to that experience of having that crush with him, kind of that might have been his purpose for me in that moment of coming up in my life, just for me to be able to experience that feeling again. I've been talking to some of my close girlfriends. It's interesting because I have two close girlfriends one I talked to yesterday and one I talked to today. We had the exact same conversation, and neither one of them knew that, the one that I talked to today had no idea that I talked about the same topic with the other friend yesterday. And it's about I talk about intentional dating. Again, I have the Intentional Love Collective. I am all about dating with intention, like knowing what you want, vetting people, um, dating people who align with your values and your preferences and all of those things. But when you really think about it, does intentional dating, or the idea of intentional dating that we have created, does it box us in and limit us from experiencing dating, like experiencing just getting to know people and stepping outside of the box and having certain experiences in life? um I think sometimes we get too caught up in, are you dating intentionally or are you dating for fun? And this is a question that I've asked people that have come to my dating events and speed dating experiences. But does it have to be a difference, is a new question that I'm asking myself, because dating should be fun. We have gotten so serious, and a lot of people have experienced so much hurt, have experienced people wasting their time, and all of these different negative outlooks to the dating experience that they have. I'm not going to say that we have created such strong boundaries and such high standards that it's hard for anybody to really meet them. It's really hard for anybody to meet the standards that we have created based on what we've been through and the boundaries that we have set. And we have such short tempers and low tolerance to the BS. But sometimes we're we're sifting through so many people, and it's like, okay, this dating process, going on these dating apps or meeting people, it's almost like interview process, and you're just like, okay, you have a certain idea of what you're looking for, and when these people are not answering these questions correctly or aligning with what it is that you're looking for, it's almost like, okay, next. What you got? Oh, no, no, next. Mind you, this person might be someone who teaches you a beautiful lesson that you need for your relationship with the one. Or they might give you an experience that you need to have in order to prepare for the one. Or they may eventually evolve into the one. But I know that I have labeled myself anti-situationship because of experiences with being in situationships. I would say is like doing all the relationship things without the commitment or the title. But I talked to my homegirl today about it, and I'm just like, is it really that we don't want to be in the situationship, or is it that we don't want to be in a situationship that is not on our own terms? So in the situationships that we've been in prior, it's like we wanted more and the person that we were with didn't, or we wanted to be treated differently and the person that we were with wasn't giving the energy that we wanted. So of course we were unhappy in the situationship. If it was a relationship, it would have been an unhappy relationship. So it's not necessarily the situationship that is the problem. It's the dynamics of it and how much control and how much power you have and how happy you are with the arrangement. So um me and my homegirl today were just talking about being, even when it comes to being in our sexual prime or being sexual beings or being as fine as we are now in our 30s, where we don't know what we're going to look like in 20 years from now or what our bodies are going to be capable of or whatever. Not, because I know some women in their 50s and 60s that still get dropping it like it's hot. They say that their sexual prime is now. But I know for me, I've been abstaining for several years. My homegirl is just like, this ain't that. I ain't trying to be um I'm not trying to be depriving myself of being loved on or having intimacy or having dates or going out or whatever because I'm looking for this perfect person. And I totally agree. Like, I think that we have to relax a little bit about not getting out there and experiencing that male or masculine energy or just a vibe or a good time or just dating experiences in general. Like, do you want to just be the next person that you're with is the forever person and you don't even get a chance to get to know different types of people, because different types of people bring different things out of you. And, you know, we are looking for this person here that has the list, that has the criteria. We're checking off our list, we're checking it twice. But I think we need to allow ourselves to be more open to having fun and being intentional, being mindful, being aware, but also having a good time and not feeling like you got to be so strict. So realist on here, hashtag slide accordingly, puff puff, says question. Let's say you like a guy you've been keeping in touch with on and off. Would you wait for him to reach out to you, or do you reach out? If we've been keeping in touch on and off, why is we off? Why are we off? What's going on the off days? But I will say that if we've been keeping in touch off and on, then I don't have a problem with reaching out. Like, if somebody is on my mind, I'm gonna check on them. I'm gonna reach out. Hey, how you doing? It's been a while since I talked to you. I'm not gonna act like I got some people that I've talked to in the past or dated in the past, and we check on each other every now and then. And sometimes they reach out to me, and sometimes if they're on my mind, I'll reach out to them. My kombucha is getting warm, y'all. I don't like that. So what I will say is that, you know, sometimes we put ourselves in a box by being so rigid about our standards that we do miss out on the fun. So, you know, it's okay to be spontaneous and have these experiences. And dating intentionally doesn't necessarily mean that you can't enjoy the process. Like, that is the purpose of dating. Um, you can date for fun while maintaining your values, of course, and having standards. And I think that that's the difference between just dating for fun and being reckless, not knowing what you want, not knowing who you are, and dating intentionally and having fun while dating, um, knowing who you are, what you want, what you're looking for, and taking it off of the phone. Like, I be talking about vetting, and I do think vetting is important because sometimes you end up sitting across the table at a date with somebody that you wouldn't even give a second of your time to if you knew certain things about them. So I do still say that it is important to vet. It is important to um, get to know people a little bit before you just hop out on these dates, because they can be a whole ass fool too. But getting past, we have to do better and be more intentional about getting past this pre-interview phase. So I find in modern dating, we're not getting to the experience quick enough. If you're meeting on a dating app, or if you're meeting in person, it's starting, let's just say the app. You get on the app, you match. Okay, boom. We both have agreed that there's something about each other that we're interested in. Either it's physical attraction or something that was in the bio that interests us. So we already got that out the way. Then we match, and it's the small talk phase. I'm gonna go along with the small talking for one day, maybe two tops. With the hey, how you doing? How was your day? What are you up to? Where are you from? All of that. Okay, boom. Got that out the way. What else you got? So then I want some questions that are personality type questions, like getting to know me a little bit better. Let's have some banter. Let's make some jokes with each other. Let's see if our personalities, if we can get along, if we have some commonalities. Um, Always for me, a great icebreaker for me is going to be music related. So one of my icebreaker questions is, what are your top 3 90s male R&B groups? Because that's like my favorite genre right there. So once they start telling me about their favorite R&B groups, then I can go from there, because I can tell you a little bit about yourself if you tell me what your favorite male 90s R&B groups are. So that's a conversation starter for me. Being vegan, people usually have conversations surrounding that. How long have you been vegan? What do you like to cook? What's your specialty? What restaurants are you, do you like? That type of stuff. Let's get past the surface level. Let's get to know each other a little bit more about common interests. And then after that, most of these dating apps have a feature where you can either audio communicate or we can hop on a video call. Let's just go ahead and do that. If the vibe is still there, at that point, I'm okay. I'm open to exchanging numbers. Then once we exchange numbers, we might call and talk to each other a time or two, FaceTime. Let's start planning the meetup. And every woman is different. Some women require you to go all out on the first date, get the, spend the money, have the fancy dinners and all of that. I I love and appreciate that. I love, fancy stuff, gifts, dressing up. I love getting fine and being cute on a date. But I also am not opposed to going for a walk. Like in Atlanta, we got the Beltline. We can meet at the Beltline, go for a walk, talk. I'm cool with that because I might not even want to sit at dinner with you. So let's get a plan to meet in person and then go from there. All this sitting there back and forth talking, texting for days and weeks. I don't want no pen pals. My allergies is acting up, y'all. I'm sorry. So, Rocket Man XIX on Instagram says, Boys to Men, Jodeci, and a toss-up between Drew Hill and 112. Okay. So I don't know you, never seen you, can't see your profile, but I would say that you have a little gentleman side to you, maybe a little nerd, maybe a little I don't want to say square, but let's just say square for lack of a better term. Wholesome. Let's use wholesome. A little bit of wholesomeness to you, but you also have a sensual side. And I would say that you probably, what else I'm going to say about you? You have a little bit of edge as well. Am I right? Oh, let's see. Realist on here, hashtag slide accordingly, puff. It says, I only ask because sometimes both men and women sometimes play the holdout game to see who reaches out first. Absolutely, that too. As immature as it sounds, it'd be like that sometimes. Let me see who gonna reach out to me. Let me see people be like, if I don't reach out, I don't hear from nobody. I've gotten to the point where I feel like if somebody's on my mind, I'm gonna reach out to them. Or if I want to check in on you, I'm gonna reach out. Naga Genie. Hold on, y'all. My allergies have kicked in. It's probably this kombucha that flared it up because it's good for my allergies. Nagagini says, what do you think is the key to a healthy relationship with your partner? I would say effective communication, listening to understand and not respond, like just holding space, acceptance, not judging, and compatibility is definitely important. Trust and respect for sure, and appreciation. I think those are some of the keys. And longevity. You've been vegan for 7 years. I don't know. Let's see. 7 years ago was 2018. I don't know what it was about them late 20 teens that every Black person I know. I don't know if you're Black. I think you're Black. Yeah. We went vegan around that time. I went vegan 2016. I did start eating fish again, fish, seafood for like a few years. Like towards the end of 2016 to 2020, I was eating fish and seafood still. No dairy, no eggs, no meat. And then 2020, I've been vegan. No fish. So I haven't had meat, dairy, or eggs since 2016. So Rocket Man said, I got class, I got edge, I'm a fire. I feel like I got it right, no? You got class, you got edge. You got a balance. But anyway, y'all tell me more about what you think about intentional dating for fun, women shooting their shot. Again, I'm Osha Cerese, certified life coach, event curator, singles events coming soon, speed dating events coming soon, discussion panels coming soon. I'm a dream doula supporting you on birthing your ideas into reality. So if you're a business owner, an influencer, a creative creator, um, if you have some ideas and you just don't know what to do, how to utilize and monetize your gifts, you need some support with that. Book a or what is it called? I want to say a strategy call. The tab is called content strategy on my website. So book a strategy call and we will get you together after one call. I just need one call and a little bit of time to create, less than a week to create a plan for you. So whether that's a content plan, content strategy, digital products, we're going to get you together. A niche, how to show up on social media. I can even give you some support with graphics and with reels and all of that. So tap in with that. If you are a hopeful romantic and intentional dater looking for love in 2025, you need to be on my Intentional Love Collective list. Even if you're not in the Atlanta area, I got some people from overseas on that list. So fill it out anyway, because some people are open to long distance dating. So even if you're not in the Atlanta area and you can't come to every singles event, I will match make you if I find somebody that matches your preferences, desires, and values. If you are looking to get some support on your journey of healing, self love, self discovery, I have a great program. It's a 6-week program called One Single Step at a Time. Definitely, you're doing your inner child work, you're doing shadow work, you're unpacking any baggage that you keep dragging along with you from relationship to relationship. You're looking at your relationship timeline. What happened in these relationships? Why did you accept them? What type of behavior did you exude? What contributions did you have into the downfall? What accountability can you take? What lessons did you learn? Getting to know yourself, who you are, what are your interests, what brings you joy, what is it that you're looking for out of life and out of partnership. And we get together and create a plan of action for your future. I hold you accountable with continuing on your journey even after our workshop. So it's 6 weeks. It is guided, has exercises, tips, journaling prompts, activities, things that you need to do during those 6 weeks. And then it also comes with coaching. So you have weekly coaching with me with that program. And it comes with the How to Beat Single guided journal. If you feel like you don't need guidance and coaching and you just want to do some work on your own time and your own pace, you can always just grab a journal, How to Be Single. It's on the website, oshacerese.com. And then I also have a program called 5 Ways in 5 Days, teaching you how to incorporate your love languages into your daily acts of self-love and self-care. It also helps you to identify and uncover those blockages that you may have with giving and receiving love. Like I was just talking earlier about that heart chakra opening that I needed to experience that crush, to be able to experience that certain type of love again. Sometimes we have some blockages from giving and receiving love, and that program helps you to identify those. And it also comes with one free coaching session. Or if you feel like you want to get my support and you just don't know where to start or what to enroll in, or what to do, you can just book a discovery call. Maybe you just want one-on-one coaching. Maybe you just need a few sessions and you don't want to be in a program. So book a discovery call and we will talk about it. Again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do so now. YouTube.com/@Osha Cerese, OSHACERESE. And if you have anything that you want to share with me, like a story time, a situation that you want me to unpack on the show, or any feedback or questions that you may have that you want to send me privately and anonymously, OshaCerese@gmail.com, OSHACERESE@gmail.com. Send me a letter. I will unpack it online for you. And of course, I will know who you are, but the people will not know who you are. It'll be anonymous. So thank you all for tuning in. Let me give you a few journaling prompts for today. The first one will be, are you comfortable making the first move? Why or why not? Are you comfortable making the first move? Why or why not? Your second prompt is, what dating experiences have shaped how you approach new connections? What dating experiences have shaped how you approach new connections? And last but not least, are you open to having fun without expecting long-term commitment? Are you open to having fun without expecting long-term commitment? So, again, thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate all the new people that has showed up and pulled up on me. I hope this is not the last time I see you. Make sure you turn your notifications on because this is a pop-up show. I show up every weekday, but because a girl is busy, I'm a busy woman. I haven't been able to solidify a specific time every day. So it's a pop-up show. Sometimes I come at 8 p.m. Sometimes it's 11:55, but we try to get here. So turn your notifications on. I hope to see you all again. Tap in with me. Follow me. I'm on all platforms at Osha Cerese, OSHACERESE. So I'll see y'all later. See y'all tomorrow. Thank you. Good night.